Hi, this is Angel Jones. I love great conversations where life's journey is communicated not only through words, but tones and emotions. Explosive expressions that allow you to feel what they felt and learned. A fool learns only from his own mistake, while the wise learn from their own and from those others have made. Thanks for being here with us. Good morning, Anthony Witt. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
I am doing great here where I'm at. It's a beautiful sunny day.
Love it. How about the temperature? Tell me about the temperature, Anthony.
You know what? So it is fall when we're recording this message in the States here, Northern Illinois. And it is, man, we have had beautiful weather. And just the last couple of days, it's dropped down into the 20s, which is cold for this time of year. So we went from way high normals to lows. And today, it's probably 40 degrees out this morning, which is a beautiful day. So it's actually pretty good.
Wow. And just for our listeners that do Fahrenheit, well, you're good. But for those that do degrees Celsius, that is below zero, the 20, that is. So, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the 20, the 32 Fahrenheit is the degrees 0 Celsius, right? So
exactly.
it was cold a couple mornings in a row, which is unusual for this time of year for us. So.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, Anthony, it's a great pleasure to connect with you. You are one of the very few that had a first conversation with me. And now we actually, you are here to support the 1509 goal. But more so to be the one that explains and is part of, if you may, the value of connecting conversations.
Man, I tell you what, connecting is such a massive component that I know for myself I undervalued for a long time, but I started connecting with people like yourself, right? We connected through a mutual friend, and those connections are what take you to the next level.
It does.
Even sometimes I look at relationships and I say, what can this relationship do for me? And that's the wrong way to look at it. The right way to look at it is how can I, or what can I do for this relationship? And I've not always had that attitude, but I have found that, man, when you start getting that attitude and you start helping the other people around you, that power of connection just explodes with your ability to move to the next level. Example, I've got a friend. I'm in a couple mastermind groups, and one of my friends in the group, he's a finance guy, and I don't really have anything that I can send towards him as far as business goes. But as far as personal goes, he was struggling with a couple different things. I had some connections that I can make connections with him and help him out with. Well, just the other day, he calls me up and says, "Hey, I want to introduce you to this person," and it's a school board president for one of the companies I run.
Wow.
It's probably the best connection that he could have ever given me. It's the most affluent, and he knows the person personally. And so through his personal connections and our personal connection, we're able to work together, make a deal, even though the two of us are completely different industries, completely different, realms, really.
Yeah.
We're able to build off of each other just through that. I mean, man, connection. I could go forever on connection.
It's amazing because, I would love to draw the web-like network that we're literally building from conversations. Because, look at what happened there, right? That is the unseen conversation, right? That is, hey, I have a friend, Anthony, I need to introduce you to. That is the unseen, right? And the value that is there, really goes untold.
Yeah, it just makes me think. So you're shooting for 1509, and you're there. You're gonna make it. I can feel it. I can see it. I was at like 300 episodes, and I found that when I would go to an event or an activity, right, some type of live conference, or I was speaking at a conference or whatever it might be, I could go up to a stranger, we could get to talking. I could say, oh, you need to meet Jim, or you need to meet Sue, or you need to meet Sam, because I've had all these conversations.
Yes.
And so I can say, let me think. Oh, this is the person that I think is perfect for you.
Yes.
They can help you, or they need you sometimes, right? I might go into someone and say, they might say, this is what I do. I'm like, that's extremely unique. It's an awesome component. It's an awesome factor. You know what? This person over here, they need you. Let me introduce you to them. And so, I simply through conversations like this, podcast conversations, I've been able to be honest with you, go to live events, not looking to get anything out of myself, and just connect people. Literally take them by the hand and say, you need to meet this person over here. You need to meet that person over there. You need to meet Aaron Walker. You need to meet Matt Miller, whoever it might be. You guys need to connect, and literally taking them. And it's amazing what that can do, because now I've personally introduced them to you.
And I can endorse that, because Anthony, I mean, let me quickly file in there to show the value that you have brought even to my life, where you went to San Diego. What was the name of the event in San Diego? Podcast?
San Diego, the event is Social Media Marketing World, but Chicago, and then as well as Dallas was Podcast Movement.
Okay, but Ivan, when you connected with Ivan, it was in San Diego, right? I think it was in San Diego.
The very first time I met Ivan Reckland was actually in Dallas, I believe. And then I met him again in Texas, or in Chicago, and then just the last time we spoke or we met in person was in San Diego.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was San Diego where we connected, and we're part of the community via Aaron Walker, right? And here's Anthony saying, it's about 10 p.m. my time, and I see this call, hey, Angel, hey, you need to meet Ivan. So what Anthony is talking about, you really isn't just talking, you really walks that. You really did it, and in so doing, Ivan and I had a conversation, not that same year, but in fact, it was the same year, just recently, and it's very powerful, so I love what you do and how you do it.
If you're paying attention to what people are saying, and that I'll be honest, I've had times where people are talking and I'm not even listening, right? Nodding my head, shaking, and I'm not really paying attention. But if you're actually paying attention to what people are saying, where their needs are, and sometimes they won't even say them. It's under the conversation that they're speaking. And if you're listening for that, you can say, you know what? I've got somebody that you need to meet. I know somebody that's in that industry. And they might be like, oh, you're right. That is the type of person I need to meet. And they didn't even say it, or they didn't even realize it. But because you're paying attention, it's fully engaged, right? My wife is a marriage and family therapist. And so actually we share an office. So I'm sitting in a therapist office literally right now, because we share the office. We work, I watch the kids, she works the kids, I work. It's about being engaged with the conversation, not simply being there. And it's the words I like to use, being present when you're present.
Yes.
So if you're there, actually be there. I'm reading Pat Flynn's book, Will It Fly? Is one of my books for this month. And literally, I think chapter 4 I just finished last night. And that's what he said. He said one of his goals is to be physically present and mentally present at the same time when he's with his kids and his family. And that's what we got to do when we're having conversations if we want to really help people.
I love it. Well, just go a bit deeper into what you're offering, what you're bringing to the market. You spoke about your wife being a therapist. Exactly what do you all have going on now that our amazing audience can access?
We what you have going on, I would be falling into the trap that I quickly fall into, which is tell everybody all of the things that I'm almost doing or that I'm ready to do, but I haven't started doing. And so I'm going to do that real fast. One of the things that my wife and I have been working on, and we've actually shelved for the coming 6 months, but one of the things we have already laid out is actually working together, right? I've been working as a business coach, startup coach for a couple years now. It's something I'm kind of starting to phase out of as far as taking on clients go. and she's been helping people. What we found was we both are doing the same thing. She's helping people as far as, family and spiritual and whatever it might be, but then it always bleeds into career and stuff like that, right? Well, I'm helping people with career and stuff like that, and it always bleeds into personal. So what we found is, although she's the licensed clinician here in the States, we're both doing the same thing. And we realized that we should do this together for couples, with couples. And so that's something that we're kind of pushing towards. Like I said, it's not something that we're like launching tomorrow or just launched or something. We've already actually done all the work. It's already laid out. We'll probably launch it in a couple, maybe 6 months is kind of our target date, because both of us have other businesses that we're trying to build. And when we get there, we plan on working as a team and working together, because that just really excites us to be able to work together, helping families, helping couples.
Love it. Anthony, my friend, 12 minutes goes by so fast.
Oh, it does.
But I'm really, I must say, just having the opportunity to speak into your life, in terms of all the best with what you're doing, continue to be that real person that you are. And I really appreciate what you've done thus far by supporting, this Trinidadian guy, and making so many things the catapult, if you would, for what I am doing currently. So from me and my family, we say thank you for being who you are.
Well, thank you. And we're probably out of time. I wasn't watching the clock. I want to know what we can do to support you.
Oh. Well, the biggest thing right now on our goal is filling up the calendar. What we've seen is there's a drop off sometimes because life happens. So you get 60 people on there, and sometimes you can have a drop off of 15. But yeah, just filling the calendar. So great people to have conversations with. And again, that doesn't need to be millionaires. It can be, my grandmother was on here one time, 93 years old. She has some wisdom. So it could be anyone, that wants to share a conversation. But we have 13 days at the time of this recording, so it should be fun.
Very nice. Well, I'm excited, and I am pumped to see you meet the goal.
Hey, I appreciate that very much. Anthony Witt, thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Amazing audience. Before you leave, there's one person I'd like to introduce you to, Amanda Jones. She is my wife, and her passion is to educate, encourage, and empower.
Hi, I'm Amanda Jones, and I'm a registered nurse. Do you or someone you know have diabetes? According to the International Diabetes Federation, in 2015 worldwide, 415 million people were living with diabetes. Just as that figure is overwhelming, so too can the effects of diabetes be. So, to help simplify diabetes for both adult and child, I've used rhymes in my books, The ABCs of Diabetes for Children and Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes. At its simplest, rhymes help us to remember. If you, a child or friend, want an easy, reader-friendly way to know about diabetes, then get a copy of these books. For more details, you can go to poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.